This is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I'm him, JIG. It's playoffs. Wild card weekend, folks. This weekend is wild card weekend. Saturday kicks off with the Browns and Texans. And then for the late night, we got the Dolphins and the Chiefs. Now, these first two matchups are going to be... The first one could get kind of interesting because you got a rookie of the year, CJ Stroud, leading a very potent Texans offense versus one of the best defenses in the NFL. A defense that's been well rested and probably had a little bit more time to take a look at this Texans offense. Amari Cooper's going to be back for the Browns. They're going to have that running back stable. Joe Flacco wants to be great, people. Joe Flacco is not just doing it for himself. He's doing it for the Vine. And if you were around during the time of the Vine, you know exactly what video I'm talking about. Joe Flacco wants to be great. And that's dangerous. That's very dangerous, folks. But the Texans are no chumps. They're no chumps at all. You know, they get the home game. It's in Houston. You know, the Browns have won 4 of their last 5. The Texans have won 3 of their last 5. The Texans have been in playoff football since they lost to the Browns, 36-22. I don't believe that's going to be the same thing. I think, playoff football is a little bit different, folks. Playoff football is a little bit different. It's a little more intense. They look at the matchups a little more. And it's just great football overall. Hopefully these damn refs pick it up. See, that's one thing about the NFL that has been atrocious this year is officiating. That's one thing that I wish improves for the wild card weekend. I hope the officials realize that the fans came to see the players and not the zebras. You are not the main attraction. You are a side attraction. I mean, there's about 15 other things people come to stadiums for before we even start talking about officials. So what I'm saying is, if for some reason an official is listening today, it ain't about you, bud. It ain't about you. It's about these players, and they want to be great. And there's people with a lot of money on the line this weekend. I mean, the Texans beating the Browns is probably a long shot. It's probably a long shot. But you know what? They have the guy to do it. CJ Stroud is looking like just an amazing pick. Generational talent. A guy that looks like he's about to rewrite the history of Ohio State quarterbacks. That's what the Texans were able to draft, and they got him. They got their guy. And all they got to do is build around this young man. They got a solid O-line. They got solid wide receivers. They have a two-headed monster in the running in the backfield. So a good tight end. The future of Houston is okay. It looks okay. It looks like it's going to sustain. This building will withhold a hurricane. That's what Houston looks like right now. They look like a great fortress being built. I don't think this is their time. I think this is Joe Flacco's time. I like Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns in this game. I like that defense. Kevin Stefanski is showing you that I wasn't the problem in Minnesota. It wasn't me. I can throw the ball. I just need a competent quarterback. So really, if I'm the Cleveland Browns, this run that they're on right now is twofold. It's twofold. We want to make a deep playoff run, of course. We want to make a we want to give the fans of Cleveland, Ohio, we want to give them, the dog pound, something to cheer about. So we want to make it. We want to keep this run going. But also, if Joe Flacco is able to get off his couch, jump in the game, and lead this team to a deep playoff run, massage oil is done. You can't bring back massage oil. And by massage oil, I'm talking about Deshaun Watson. Right now, if Joe Flacco leads this team on a deep playoff run, you have to move on from Deshaun Watson. That means he's not the guy that you signed him for. He cannot be who you want him to be. Like Eminem once said, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? That's not Deshaun Watson. He's not Eminem. He's not even close. He's probably G-Eazy. If we're comparing Deshaun Watson to Eminem, he's probably G-Eazy. He's probably in that category. Because he just ain't lived up to the ticket. He changed the market for quarterback pay. He changed the market for quarterback pay. And he has not done anything that is market changing on his performance. Moving on. Chiefs and Dolphins. The return of the Tyreek Hill to Kansas City. This game right here is going to be the coldest game in NFL history. If you have not watched the news, that guy Jig, I will give you some news. I will be your weatherman. The Midwest will be cold. The Midwest will be cold. That is your news from that guy Jig Sports Podcast. It's going to be cold. I don't know if you know about wide receivers, but they do not like the cold. I don't know if you know about fast guys, but they do not like the cold. This is going to be a very bad day for the Miami Dolphins. This is why you beat the Buffalo Bills at home last game of the season for division. This is why. Because instead of playing in sunny Miami, where the opponent's side of the field is 10 degrees hotter than the home side, because the home side's in the shade, look it up, you have to go to Arrowhead Stadium in fucking Kansas City, Missouri, where it's going to be colder than a polar bear's toenail, and play a football game. Listen to me. At a certain point in time, you don't want to play football. You just want to go home. Back in the day, man, I was bench warming in high school. We played this team called Southmore High School. Had a bunch of great athletes. We were not a great team. But they were a great team. But we're in Oklahoma. It's raining and it's cold. Nobody wanted to play fucking football that night. The coaches didn't even want to be out there. And I know, it's high school. It's high school football in Oklahoma there. So you better watch your mouth. God, football. That's Oklahoma and Texas for you. But at any rate, what I'm telling you is, once it gets to a certain temperature, man, the body's just like, what are we doing? Why are we here? What did Bane say to his henchmen? Why are you here? That's what they're going to be asking. The Chiefs are going to run the ball. Andy Reid is going to run the ball down their throat for 4 quarters. This is one of those games where you look up and Pat Mahomes might have 4 touchdowns on 70 yards passing. Okay? I'm here to tell you, Andy Reid knows what people hate to do when it's cold. They hate to tackle. So I'm going to run the ball down your throat for 4 quarters. We're hammering the Chiefs' money line, folks. We're hammering the Chiefs' money line. I like the Chiefs and I like the Browns. Now listen to me. If by some miracle the universal creator changes the whole atmosphere of Kansas City and makes it sunny and beautiful, I might change my pick. If you're following on Instagram, and if you're not on Instagram, I feel bad for you, because that's where we put all our betting props. That guy Jig on Instagram, that's where we put all the money. That's where we put the money. So get on over there and follow. Subscribe, rate, and review. But what I'm telling you is Kansas City is going to go and win this game. And then we move on to Sunday's matchups. The first matchup of the day, the Steelers versus the Bills. This is 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL, folks. This is 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL. And the Steelers have a good defense. They're fundamentally sound. The Steelers have won 3 of their last 5, with Buffalo winning 5 straight. Buffalo's won 5 straight. And they've done it in convincing fashion. 20-17 versus the Chiefs. 31-10 versus the Cowboys. 21-14 versus the Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills seem as if they're rolling at the right time. See, this is the thing. This is the thing about Buffalo. Buffalo in years past, last year, the year before, let's just go 2 years back. They have been good in the regular season. They get off to these great starts. They get rolling. They throw for a bunch of yards. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, they're going crazy. Woo! Buffalo's about to win a championship. Bills Mafia's jumping through tables. They're traveling everywhere. They're coming to your stadium. They're coming to your city. I'm not going to quote the New York Mets, but hey, if you know sports, you know what I was about to say. But the Buffalo Bills, they were that team. But this year's been kind of different, hasn't it? Hasn't it been kind of different? No Leslie Frazier. Defensive coordinator gone. Took a year off. Head coach takes over. Offensive coordinator, he's all right. You can definitely tell he's in there to please the quarterback. You lose him. Joe Brady steps up, brings more of a run game concept in. So now you see James Cook being more effective. You see Josh Allen using his legs more effective. But Stephon Diggs' numbers have been going down. Not effective. Gabe Davis, not effective. These tight ends, not effective. See, it seems like to me, because if you know who Joe Brady is the offensive coordinator for the LSU National Championship, one of the greatest teams to ever grace a earth or a football field, was that LSU football team. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson. They beat top 10 teams that year, folks. They beat 7 of them. Never trailed. They trailed one time. And that was in the playoffs against Clemson. They trailed by 10. Outscored Clemson 35-3 in the second half. Go look it up. I'm not making this shit up. That's how good that team was. But Joe Brady was the offensive mastermind behind that. That's who was the offensive mastermind. So you see his approach. His approach is multiple looks. Multiple. I can run this play out of multiple formations. See, Josh Allen isn't Joe Burrow, and we'll talk about this another day. And don't let Josh Allen lose on Saturday. Because if he loses, you're going to hear a rant amongst rants by that guy, Jake. I'm going to go crazy. Because he ain't Joe Burrow. He's Josh Allen. And we forget that. He can throw the ball 90 yards down the field. He's always been able to do that since his time in Wyoming, folks. He's always been a circus freak. He's always been able to have the arm talent. He's the guy that can sit on his knees and throw the ball 80 yards. Jamarcus Russell did it. Doesn't mean he's a good fucking quarterback. Now, does it? It does not. So what I'm saying is Joe Brady has taken a page from Jim Harbaugh where I'm going to run my quarterback a little bit more. He has excellent arm strength. He has all the intangibles. But you know what else he has? A lot of fucking interceptions. Josh Allen is turning the ball over a lot this year, folks. So Joe Brady has reeled him in. He reined him back. And he gave him more options. Now we get James Cook. Now we get more of a Latavius Murray. Now we get Josh Allen's legs. We not just relying on him out here to run around and be Brett Favre and just throw the ball, gunslinger. Pow, 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 pow. Well, I shot somebody. Yeah, but you also missed half a damn clip, bud. What are we doing? Moving on. But in this game, I expect the Buffalo Bills. But before we move on, I expect the Buffalo Bills to probably win this game. I would not be surprised if the Steelers do. Listen to me again. I expect the Buffalo Bills to win. I would not be surprised if the Steelers do. Josh Allen turns the ball over a lot. That is a problem in the playoffs. That is a problem against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who offense, all of a sudden, Mason Rudolph. Isn't it funny that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is the one that saved Christmas? They all made fun of him. They made fun of his nose. He didn't belong. But that red nose led the sleigh to safety and to deliver all the presents. And look at Mason Rudolph. They made fun of him. He got hit in the head by Myles Garrett. He called him the N-word, which was never discovered on any camera, by the way. He's a third stringer. Kenny Pickett's the first round pick. But you put Mason Rudolph in, and guess what? They said, oh, the Steelers are done. They ain't got no playoff chance. No, ain't no playoff chance. Go ahead and put Mason in there. Go ahead, Mason. Hey. Let's go ahead and make Mason feel good. Mason said, fuck you. Watch this. Hey, hold my beer. Hold my beer. Watch what I do. 3 straight wins. Playoffs. Come on. Put some respect on my name. And then you know what Mason Rudolph also showed you? He showed you that Matt Canada might not be an idiot. The offensive coordinator might have not been an idiot that they unfortunately let go. They have 2 new play callers. The problem was Kenny Pickett. You missed on that draft pick, Pittsburgh. You missed on that draft pick, Pittsburgh. It's time to wake up and eat crow. It's time to draft a new quarterback. But just like Joe Flacco, Mason Rudolph wants to be great. So I expect the Bills to win. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers do. Moving on, Packers-Cowboys. The Cowboys should run this game out. It should be a run-up. Mike McCarthy going against his former team at home. You know how the Cowboys are at home. You know how the Cowboys are at home. They don't get stopped at home. For some reason, when they smell that, they smell that turf, they smell that indoor stadium, they don't mind. They like that. So I expect the Packers to win. Mentally, morality. That's what they'll win. They'll win something for the future. They'll win in pride. But the Cowboys are going to win on the scoreboard. If you are around a Dallas Cowboy fan this week, be prepared. The shit talking will commence. The shit talking will commence. Moving on from that game. The Rams and Lions. Now, if you've been listening to your boy, JIG, all right, if you've been listening to me, I've been saying the Rams are poised for a very, very strong playoff push. They have Jig's keys to success. Good run game, solid defense, and they don't turn the ball over. And that's what you have in LA. You have an elite quarterback, Hall of Fame quarterback, going back home to a team who kind of just held him back. You know what this is? This is when you go, when you finally move on from that one ex who was just holding you back in every way and shaping life, who never really had any admirations in life, just wanted to suck the feeling right out of you. That's what this is. When you go back and you see that ex, but you got your new piece with you. You got your new thing. You got your new boo. You got your new, hey, and she's letting you flourish. You know what I mean? She's letting you explore yourself. You might get a new earring, a new piercing. You know what I'm saying? Dress a little different, talk a little different. Hey, chest out like some D cups. You know what I mean? That's how you feeling, because you walking in with this new thing, this new piece. Everybody stopping and staring when she walked through, and now she with you. So now they looking at you. But you looking over at that sad old thing like, man, I can't believe I was with that for 7 years. All she did was hold me back. You know what you going to do when you see her? You going to stunt. Yeah, you going to flex. You going to stunt. You going to take out all that animosity. You going to take it all out. All them times where you wanted something, you going to take it all out. You going to run it up. We going to run it up. That's what you going to do. And that's what I expect Sean McVay and the Rams to do. Monday Night Football, we got the Buccaneers and the Eagles. Intriguing matchup. Eagles are beat up. The Eagles' wings are clipped a little bit. Interesting matchup. The Buccaneers have a defense, and they're at home. We got to keep this in mind. Buccaneers are at home. But the Buccaneers have a defense that is healthy. They can stop that run game. And that pass game ain't been too reliable. A.J. Brown ain't been practicing this week. It's looking like Devonta Smith might be able to go. So that's good. But what I'm telling you is this right here. If A.J. Brown does not play, this will be an upset. This will be an upset. Because Baker Mayfield, I am one of the biggest Baker Mayfield critics this side of the Mississippi. And I'm here to tell you the guy's balling, man. He's balling. Mike Evans is balling. They're going to give that secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles some problems, just like everybody else has. Listen, Sam Howell has destroyed the Philadelphia Eagles secondary every single time he's played them. Sam Howell for the Washington Commanders with one of the worst offensive lines in football, who is highly sacked every game. They don't have a run game. The Washington Commanders, Sam Howell, that guy has demolished, has put up season highs against this Eagles defense. I don't expect Baker Mayfield to do anything less. Baker Mayfield's a Heisman Trophy winner, folks. I think he's figuring it out. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cade Otton, Rashard White, Trey Palmer, these are a good group of 5 to throw the ball to. If I have that 5 to throw to as an offensive coordinator, as a quarterback, I'm feeling good. G-O-O-D. I'm feeling good. So Baker Mayfield should be feeling good. So overall, wild card weekend, this is what JIG's rolling with. I'm rolling Browns. I'm rolling Chiefs. I'm rolling Bills, Cowboys, Rams, and yes, I'm rolling with the Buccaneers at home. And this is That Guy Jig Sports Podcast. I am him, JIG. Subscribe, rate, and review. Apple, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, hit us up. Subscribe, rate, and review. And then on Instagram, follow us on the gram for all the picks, man. Let's get to this money, right? Let's get to this money. Because if there's any upset that I'm picking this week, you heard it. I'm taking the Steelers, Mike Tomlin. It's a snow game in Buffalo. Air's going to be out the ball. It's going to turn into a run fest. Who can run the ball better, the Steelers or the Bills? I don't know, but we going to find out. And make sure, subscribe, rate, and review. This is That Guy Jig. I am him, JIG. Peace.